I don't know where she studied, but she needs to go reset her doctor exam because that shit is fucked to say that.
Hello and welcome to the Feminine as Fuck podcast. I'm your host, Monica Yates, a period and ICF certified women's life coach, and I help women to harness the power of their period and connect to their feminine flow. In these episodes, we will be talking about all things periods, hormones, confidence, health, food, money, sex, business, feminine flow, your brain, energy, and all the stuff that goes through our heads. You will walk away from each episode with new chicken nuggets and truth bombs, as I don't have a filter and I love talking about all the shit that people are thinking but too afraid to say.
So I'm glad to be back doing a podcast. Sorry I haven't done one in a while, but it has been busy as I've been traveling and everything. And you guys would have probably seen on my Instagram stories, I posted about that fucking ridiculous article from The Guardian about it was claiming that women don't need their periods and that periods have no purpose for health, which is obviously complete BS. BS. And I want to share with you guys why it's fucking BS, because your period is one of the healthiest parts of being a woman, the healthiest part of being a woman, and it is there for a very distinct purpose. So let's get some things straight. The article that was published by The Guardian was fucking disgusting. And I firstly want to start off by reading some of the quotes that were absolutely awful, and it is disgraceful to think that doctors and gynecologists and journalists have written this and they've been allowed to write it. I'm kind of like, where the fuck do these gynos and doctors get their degrees from, right? So quote number one, quote unquote, with recent information that periods have no health benefit. Not with recent information, with recent confirmation that periods have no health benefit. Confirmation from who? Even a dog fucking knows periods are healthy. So that's just BS number one. Next quote, not having periods does not create a backlog, nor are they necessary to cleanse the body. Wrong. Periods are so necessary. If you're not getting I'm going to go through this more in detail in a second, but if you're not getting a period, you're going to get a serious backlog of estrogen, which causes way more problems than you ever want to deal with, okay? Next thing, is there a medical reason that they should have a period? No. I'm sorry, what the fuck? And then a doctor by the name of Anne Connolly, honestly, what a fucking disgrace to doctors, says, quote unquote, there is no health benefit to them, end of quote. I'm sorry, how can a doctor, this doctor, Anne Connolly, say there is no health benefit from them? I don't know where she studied, but she needs to go reset her doctor exam because that shit is fucked to say that. Right? And it is disgraceful to think that this is going on the news and that young girls are actually listening to this. So I wanted to actually ask you ladies a really big favor when you listen to this is if you found a lot of benefit out of this and if you want to share the message, please can you screenshot and repost this episode in your Instagram stories and put it on your Facebook and also tag me, but tag The Guardian, because I want The Guardian to get a hold of this and for them to realize that what they've done is a complete disgrace and that they are giving such false information out. I understand that women have shitty periods. I've been there. And those shitty periods does not mean that you need to put the whole thing on pause. Your shitty periods are giving you a sign that there is something going on and it's trying to communicate it to your body. Okay, next quote from the article. Not having periods does not create a backlog. Oh, wait, I've already said that one. The next one is, then it says to go on to say that by not having a period, you are saving money and mitigating health problems like PCOS. Let's just be clear, ladies, that a lot of the time PCOS is related to the pill fucking up your insulin levels and your androgens, and therefore you get PCOS as well, right? There is post-pill PCOS, there is, inflammatory PCOS, there is adrenal PCOS, and then there is the insulin-resistant PCOS, and the pill can play a big, big role in that. And when you have PCOS, the pill only causes it to be worse, not better, right? The pill does not fix, nor any hormonal birth control fix your PCOS or endo. Okay, it's a band-aid. We all know that now. The next thing goes on to say is, quote unquote, experts, they are clearly not fucking experts, also say that stopping your period won't affect future fertility and that when you stop taking the hormones, they get flushed out of your system quickly. Wrong, unless you do, of course, my coming off the art of hormonal birth control pill, which, the art of coming off hormonal birth control masterclass, which is out today. So you can click the link in the description and you can get that. If you do that course, yes, your hormones will get flushed out pretty quickly and the excess hormones that are in your liver because I give you the protocol to do it. However, absolutely not where your hormones get flushed out very quickly and these excess hormones, right? Your liver, it actually takes a long time to flush things out really, really well. It can take a good like 7 months for your liver to do a full regeneration, okay? The article also claims that hormonal birth control stops pregnancy, but that's bullshit, because how come millions of women get pregnant every year? Right? Hormonal birth control does not stop pregnancy, okay? It can reduce the chance of you getting pregnant, as can knowing your fucking cycle, but it does not stop pregnancy. Okay, so let me tell you why hormonal birth control is, I don't want to say the word bad, but like it's not going to fix your period problems. Or let me say it this way, let me tell you why having a period and not being on birth control is optimal, okay? Your period is your monthly report card. It tells you what your thyroid is like. It tells you how stressed you've been. It tells you your chi energy, your life force energy. It tells you what your blood clots are like, which is a correlation between your chi energy, progesterone, libido, sex drive. It helps stop depression and anxiety, right? It is used for so many important things. It is literally like going to the doctor every month and you being like given a report card of how your health is doing. In regards to contraception, a 2004 study timed pregnancy followed the long-term combination oral contraception, or it found that combination oral contraception, so like estrogen and progesterone, or injectable contraception, was found to be 2 and 3 times longer for you to get pregnant. So it took you 2 or 3 times longer to fall pregnant after you've been using oral contraception or injectables than if you were just using a condom and then you stopped using a condom and you tried naturally for a baby, okay? So it has been indicated, and I've got more studies here as well, that study indicates a significant reduction in fertility rates when you've been using contraception, or it takes you a lot longer to fall pregnant. The effect was also worse the longer women had used the oral or injectable contraception, or if they were older, obese, or already had menstrual disturbances when they started the pill, it took them even longer. Another study found that nearly a quarter of women trying to conceive couldn't for 13 months or more after stopping the pill, whereas only 1 in 10 women using non-hormonal methods of contraception had a similar experience. Effectively, what this is all saying, ladies, is the long-term use of the pill, it actually ages a woman's cervix and the cervical canal becomes narrower. In this way, basically, the cervix of a 33-year-old woman becomes that of like a 45-year-old woman. So people say like, oh no, the pill doesn't affect your fertility. It does affect your fertility. It does affect your fertility, and studies have shown this, and that takes you a lot longer to fall pregnant. And of course it can affect your fertility. Like, think about it, ladies. Like, it is shutting down the communication pathway between your brain and your ovaries. Like, duh, it kind of makes fucking sense that it would affect your fertility, right? Which it does. Dr. Irwin Goldstein and Dr. Claudia, I'm going to maybe say her name wrong. Her last name is Panzaer, Panzaer. Their research found that taking the pill for as little as 6 months could potentially destroy a woman's sex drive forever. And I know I mentioned this in the episode of why the pill fucks you up, but I want to mention it again. The pill dramatically reduces the level of testosterone in your body, and that testosterone is really important for your male and female libido. So we obviously, as a female, have less of it, and if you're a male, then you've got more of it, but the pill dramatically reduces the level of testosterone, right? Testosterone. I want to also mention, and I might mention this more so in another like pregnancy podcast, but I'm going to mention it here as well. Just with this like whole fucking thing that I have reason to believe, and this is obviously like I haven't found any research on it, but I also kind of like can tie some research together that men's testosterone levels have been lower than they've ever been, right? Because of the amount of estrogen in their body. A lot of men have excess estrogen, which is lowering their testosterone. It makes them more like feminine in the way that they have, maybe a bit more curves, rounder edges. They tend to be a little bit like softer and less masculine. So that I have reason to believe is also because when you're pregnant, your fetus starts off as a woman. Now, what happens then is the mum, her brain sends a flood of testosterone to the baby to turn it into a male if your baby's meant to be a male and not a female. Now, the amount of women on the fucking pill and that have such fucked up levels of estrogen, and they have too much estrogen in their body from the pill and from other hormonal contraception. What I'm thinking is happening is that so many men, yes, we're getting this flood of testosterone that's being given to them when they're in your baby, when you're pregnant, but because of the amount of estrogen in your body, it's not actually giving your man giving your baby the full amount of testosterone, because the estrogen's kind of like counterbalancing it. So a lot of men these days, I mean, you look at men and they're very metrosexual. If they're not gay, they're quite metrosexual, as in they care a lot about their appearance, to the point where a lot of men now, and like I might get some hate mail about this, but I'm also just telling the truth. This is nothing against anyone that's gay, but a lot of men now actually look very, very feminine, and they take almost too much pride in their appearance, and they're too well groomed for a lot of women's liking. Okay, and I'm actually wondering whether this isn't because of the amount of estrogen that's now flooding through men's bodies, as opposed to them having enough testosterone. Right? So that's just a side note with the pill, and like how the pill even can affect your baby via the amount of estrogen being pumped into your body. And if you don't flush that estrogen out correctly when you come off the pill before you get pregnant, like maybe this is a reason for it. And I haven't found any research to back this up, but it's just like an interesting something that I've been thinking about, and I've been talking to a few people about, and I wanted to mention it to you guys as well. I would love your thoughts about this. Could be interesting discussion to talk about. I don't want to do hate mail though, right? Like I'm not saying anything bad about anybody. I'm just saying like this could be something worth thinking about. And the really key thing for women, ladies, in terms of your libido, and stopping the pill or stopping your hormonal contraception doesn't actually necessarily reverse the effects of this. And that's a really important thing. We're very led to believe that when you come off the pill, these effects just get quote unquote flushed out, like the Guardian said, but actually that's not what happens. So other research has even found that the effect of the pill on your libido, it causes complete, like it can cause diminished or complete loss of sexual interest and arousal. It can also cause women to have non-existent orgasms, decreased frequency or sexual intercourse, and significantly more sexual pain. And this is a common thread that I'm also seeing with my clients, of like pain during sex. Okay. So it's no surprise if you've been on any sort of hormonal birth control and you've had pain with sex. Like think about it. You're like causing stress and irritation and inflammation to that part of your body. Professor Kulkarni also found that women taking the pill were 2 times as likely to be depressed compared to those not on the pill. So I'm kind of like, where the fuck does this Guardian article get off saying that the pill or that like not having a period is beneficial, and at the same time women being on the pill are 2 times as more likely to get depressed compared to those not on the pill? I'm like, that literally, you're contradicting each other. It makes no sense. And the thing is, these women on the pill had no clinical history of depression and are not be on any depressants, right? So that whole argument is just fucked from the Guardian. And then the argument about, like hormonal contraception, like it avoids pregnancy. Like no, because in Europe and the US, just Europe and US alone, over 2 million women fall pregnant every year on the pill, unplanned, right? Unplanned on the pill. Crazy, right? Oh, and Depo-Provera. So Depo-Provera is the shot, and Depo-Provera is the shot, and this actually has a lot of side effects, and possibly the worst side effects out of them all, and the fastest. So Depo-Provera also causes the most rapid proliferation, can't say the word properly, it's like 10:30 at night, but I wanted to record this podcast for you guys, proliferation of breast cancer cells, and as well. And women taking progesterone pills they have a 60% increased risk in their breast cancer after only a year of use. Let me repeat that because I'm aware that I mumbled a little bit of that. The Depo-Provera, so the shot, it causes the most rapid proliferation of breast cancer cells, and women taking the progesterone-only pills have a 60% increased risk of breast cancer after just a year of taking that progesterone-only pill, right? How fucking crazy. And the pill before the age of 20 doubles the risk of breast cancer. So I'm literally like, where do these doctors, gynos, whoever the fuck these people are, get off saying that having your period has no benefits for your health and that you should be on the pill? Like, pretty sure your period is healthy, seeing it's been around for a long time. The article even said that like a woman having a period is one of the faulty things God made about us. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, as my assistant said, what did she say? She was like, she sent me this, hold on, I actually wrote it down. Where is it? Oh yeah. my assistant was like, what the fuck? No periods means no babies, which doesn't even give you the opportunity to have health. This is so dumb, right? So that the guardian is saying that like not having a period is better for your health. And my assistant's like, if you don't have a period, you can't have a baby. So the baby's not going to be alive. So you don't have the chance of health. And I was like pissing myself when she sent me that. I was like, that is very true. So back to the contraception, these forms of contraception, ladies, especially the pill and IUD, what they also do is blur the line between abortion and contraception because they work by preventing the development of a conception that's taken place, effectively terminating it as well as preventing conception itself. So there is just like so many things in this article that is wrong. Basically, the part that's like most wrong is them encouraging hormonal birth control when there is so much evidence and so much science to back it, and so many of your stories to back the fact that hormonal birth control is so unhealthy and produces so many unhealthy side effects. Not just if that affects you, but they affect your partner, your family, your kids, your job, your health, your productivity, your future health. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, your baby's health, your baby is more likely to get cancer and will have major health implications even if you come off the pill and then fall pregnant without leaving enough time and doing the work to boost your nutrient stores back up, which is why I've literally created the coming off hormonal birth control, like the art of coming off hormonal birth control masterclass, because I want you ladies to be able to do this, to come off it properly so you know that your body has been cleansed and you've done it properly. And some of you have asked as well, you asked on my Instagram, like, I came off the pill a year ago, can I still do it? Abso-fucking-lutely. Or you've come off the pill a year ago and you haven't got a period back, can I still do it? Abso-fucking-lutely. You want to have a baby soon, can I do it? Yes. Like, everyone should do this. If you have not done like a fucking hormone clear out, then you need to do this, because if you got excess estrogen, if you have any period problems, ladies, this masterclass is going to help you. Painful periods, heavy periods, blood clots, bloating, fatigue, migraines. This is like your step number one. Step number two is turning off your period problems program, which I will release again in like September once you girls have done the coming off the art of hormonal birth control and given you some time to implement that. I will release that again in September. But this is like step one for you to like, and it's also less than coming off hormonal birth control. The coming off hormonal birth control masterclass is less than the turning off your period problems program, like less of an investment. So you're definitely worth doing this as step one, and then doing the next program as like step two if you want to like ramp it up a level in terms of like you getting your hormonal balance back on track. You know, you feeling like you've got stable moods, your libido coming back, your skin being glowing, your hair being good, you're not being bloated, your periods being not a nuisance, all those sort of things. So even with like people then say, oh, but like I wasn't on an estrogen only pill, I was on a progesterone one. Synthetic progesterone is still fucking horrendous. It is also known to impact your hypothalamus, and this may increase a girl's chance of having PCOS, acne, and obesity and infertility, right? This is affecting your baby. This is affecting your baby being on the pill. So like, it's ridiculous that this article is saying that like when you want to fall pregnant, you can just come off it and then you're like ready to rock and roll. You know, your body will like quote unquote flush the hormones out quickly. Like, no, it absolutely will not. Like, it takes your liver a lot to get into those second and third phases of detoxification. And that's where in the program, I give you the things that are going to help your liver to get into that second and third detoxification process. Because if you're not getting yourself into that second and third phase, and then also working on your gut and like flushing the estrogen out, you're not giving yourself the whole picture, which is what a lot of my people do. They think like, oh, I'm having lemon water, therefore I'm detoxing. Like, no, that's not what this is about. So I want to go through why you want a period and why having a period is so important for your health, unlike what this fucking article says. So although suppressing and like getting rid of your cycle is being sold as like a therapy to stop mood swings and to stop discomfort, these mood swings and discomfort should not be happening in the first place, ladies. So your period, like I said in the beginning, is your monthly report card. It is a sign of full health, right? Irregular ovulation is a sign of a health problem. And having regular ovulation is almost more important than your actual period, okay? Because ovulation is that sign of full health. Your ovulation is like the driver for your levels of estrogen and progesterone. And without these hormones, you'd be feeling fucking shit, right? So your ovulation is also telling you that like your brain knows it's safe to make a baby, which is also really important. Your period's also going to tell you even if whether you have enough progesterone, whether you have too much estrogen, which can lead to acne and cancer if we want to go really far, whether your thyroid is too fast or too slow, if you've been too stressed, if you have inflammation in your body, if you haven't been sleeping enough, and so much more. All those things are going to be told in your period. Your cycle is even going to give you like intuitive hits on where you need to go with your life, and it's literally like fucking magic, right? It is magical. Not to mention, your period is the lining of your uterus where a baby will be fucking held, right? And as my assistant said before, no periods means no babies, which doesn't even give you the opportunity to have health. This is so dumb. And she could not have said it any better. If you want a baby, ladies, and even if you just want fucking health, like this isn't even about you wanting a baby. If you want health and if you want to feel like a normal human and not be some like psycho woman that's having moods all the time, you need to have a healthy uterus. If you want a baby, you need to have a home for it, which is your uterus. And if you don't fall pregnant, then obviously the lining of your uterus shreds. And that's not bad. That's when you bleed. That's when you get a period. That's not bad. That's fucking healthy. Not to mention, when you bleed, you are releasing a buildup of hormones which you do not want to recycle back into your system. So many of you, and this is why I created the program, like the masterclass, because I know that so many of you, you're not flushing out your estrogen properly and your hormones properly, and therefore they're getting recycled back into your bloodstream, which is so fucking dangerous. Like that's where you get excess estrogen, which leads to like things like cancer, and I'm talking like bad cancer. Okay, this stuff is really important. This is not like a light little like, oh, like self-love. This is like a serious, like if you have not done a hormone clear out, if you have not done work on your hormones, you need to do this masterclass. And I'm not saying this like as I want to make some money, like this is not going to like make me a millionaire, this masterclass, right? Unless like maybe like a lot of people bought it, like hundreds of people. But this masterclass, I've made it because I really am passionate, ladies, about helping you to have balanced hormones, because none of you should be suffering with shitty hormones. And this stuff is way more important than just like self-love. It is like your health and your future health and your baby's health, okay? Not to mention, it's important to know for like even explaining to your kids. Your estrogen and progesterone, they work in every single part of your body, especially your bones and your organs. Every organ in your body is affected by your cycle, and without a healthy amount of estradiol, which is the healthy estrogen, you're more likely to be breaking bones and having major health issues, right? Progesterone is also more important for reducing cancer too, and it's also like really important for like anxiety and depression and mood swings and your metabolism. Like progesterone is very, very important. And then estrogen is really important for your skin, your hair, your nails, your libido, like feeling sexy, like the plumpness in your skin, like collagen, all of those things. And estrogen is really, really important for your heart health and your blood health. So shitty periods does not mean you need to stop your cycle, or does not mean your period is bad or that it has no health benefits that you have to go on some hormonal birth control. No. Your shitty periods, they are communicating to you that something is wrong. Hence why I've created this masterclass, right? So make sure you click on the link in the description for the art of coming off hormonal birth control. It's only going to be open until the 31st of July. So do not miss out, because I won't open it until maybe like, I don't know, sometime later. So make sure that you get into it. And the other thing with this is like, with the whole article is like, why are so many fucking women trying to flatline their lives and work like men? We are not fucking men, women. Like, ladies, we are not fucking men. Stop trying to be like men. We want a cycle. You want a cycle. Do not try and stop your cycle for the sake of like, I don't know, productivity. Like, trust me, you are not going to be more productive without having a cycle. Your cycle actually allows you for maximum productivity, because it gives you those peak states and those like more like restorative states that allow you to like tune in, regenerate, get intuitive, like question things. Like it actually is so amazing for your business and for your life, your cycle, when you know how to work on it. In fact, if you haven't already downloaded this, on my free shit tab in my website, you can get my Power Up Your Period free ebook guide. Get that, because it explains to you every phase of your cycle. And when you can like understand every phase of your cycle and then like tune into every phase, it allows you to like biohack your life for like the ultimate productivity and health and like energy and all those really important things. So ladies, I want you guys to focus on riding the waves and enjoy being women, as opposed to like trying to flatline your lives, because we are not men. Do not try and flatline your emotions. I want you to focus on riding the waves and actually enjoying being a woman, because this article broke my heart, and it breaks my heart to any women that are actually like thinking that what the article says is true. And what breaks my heart more and what is so disgusting and disturbing is these gynecologists and doctors giving out this information. Like, it is actually a disgrace to human nature is what it is. So I hope that you kind of understood some of the reasoning behind why this article was wrong. I've just sort of gone through some of the main points of why your cycle is so important for your health. And if you've ever been without your cycle, you would understand why your cycle is so important, because you can feel the difference. So please share this episode on your Instagram, in Facebook groups, on your Facebook profile, so that we can get this message out there. Please be part of this movement to help other young girls see and understand that the period is worth celebrating. Your period, ladies, is your sign of health. It is your monthly report card. It gives you so much information. And if you need to, go back to those sort of episodes, the ones I've talked about your period problems and exercise and those sort of things, where you can understand the different phases of your cycle and how like your period is communicating to you. So for example, if you have really heavy periods and painful periods and blood clots and migraines and a lot of bloating, it's probably estrogen dominance. And like, let me tell you, going on the fucking pill only makes the estrogen dominance worse, which makes it more likely for cancer, or going on the IED or whatever the hell that you're on. Anything that you go on for a hormonal issue, it's going to actually make it worse under the carpet, which you do not want. You want to fix that root cause. So if you've got any questions for me about the art of coming off hormonal birth control, please send me an Instagram DM message. The doors will close midnight, the 31st of July, Australian Eastern Standard Time, and they will not reopen until I don't know when. So make sure that you do not miss out. Even if you don't want to come off the pill or your IED now, you might as well get it now so you have it there ready. Also, you need to be doing this work before you come off the pill. So even if you're coming off the IED or the pill or the implant in like 2 months' time, that's perfect. In fact, 2 or 3 months' time is optimal. You want to be doing the stuff that I give you in the program, doing the protocol before you come off whatever you're on and after you are off it. Right, there is a art to coming off it so that you don't have this massive rebound of hormones, because that's the biggest fear that like stops you guys from coming off whatever you want to come off. Even when you want to come off it, you're like afraid to, which I totally understand. And that's why I've created the program, so that you guys don't have that massive rebound of hormones when you do come off. It's a nice like gradual coming off sort of phase. Anyway, so I hope that helped you all to understand more about the stuff that I was talking about and in The Guardian, and why The Guardian is so fucking wrong. If you have any questions, like I said before, reach out and make sure that you jump on the program if you would like to. I'd love to see you there. And if you haven't booked my tickets to the Brisbane event, make sure you do that soon. Melbourne is on Friday. I'm so excited. There's going to be over 60 of you there. Amazing. And there are still some Brisbane tickets left as well. So make sure that you get on that if you would like to, because they are my last events in Australia. And ladies, I am manifesting that this week, probably around the end of the week, I think probably around the time of actually my Melbourne and Brisbane events, I'm going to be releasing the Smart Woman tickets to my New York event. When I say Smart Woman tickets, I mean that if you are a smart woman, you will get this first round of tickets, because you get a special rate for these first round of tickets. So if you are a smart woman, if you are a sexy, abundant, bougie, amazing, powerful, smart woman, feminine, embodied goddess, you will get these Smart Woman tickets and not wait, because if you wait, then you are, I don't want to say a dumb woman, but like, it's a little bit silly. Like, don't do what I do and wait for your flights last minute when you know that you should book them early when they're cheap. Make sure that you get the tickets when you know that they are going to be a better rate. Okay, I'll see some of you at the Melbourne and Brisbane events. Otherwise, I'll see some of you at the New York event in November, which I'm so excited for. It's going to be 3 days. It's going to be fucking insane. Like, oh my God, the venue is like out of control. The food is going to be out of control. It's just going to be quite the vibe. All right, I'm excited. I need to go to bed. I'll talk to you all later. Bye. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you got lots of chicken nuggets out of today's episode. I would be really, really grateful if you'd be able to leave me a review and a star rating that you think is appropriate, hopefully 5. And if you could share this podcast so that I can help more women live a life of flow and ease, I would be so fucking grateful. Make sure you tag me in it on Instagram so I can personally thank you, because I know so many of my clients
have found me literally because their friends have posted about my podcast on their Instagram story. And I just want to help as many women as possible. So by you sharing it, I would be so fucking grateful, and I'm sure your friends would be too. If you do want to welcome me, please do check out my website for all those details. And of course, you can DM me on Instagram with any other questions. If you have any podcast things you want me to talk about, any ideas, any feedback, I am always open to it, and I always love hearing what you guys have to say. So please don't hesitate about that either. I will catch you on the flip side. Have an amazing day or night wherever you are.